Hi guys, welcome to this quick tutorial. Today, I'll show you how you can create a Power Automate flow that sends birthday messages to employees and also add a custom banner to the body of the email and not as an attachment. So basically, it will be an automation that checks a SharePoint list for employees with matching birthdays, and these employees are being sent an email and there will be a custom banner included in the body of the email. So let's check it out. So right now I'm on my Power Automate homepage. I'll click on new flow here to create a scheduled cloud flow. I'll give it a birthday automation. I'll give it a title of birthday automation email. Birthday automation. I'll leave the flow to start today and let it run 10 a.m. every day. And I'll click on create. So next I will include a SharePoint get items action to pull data from the SharePoint list. I'll point to the SharePoint site, which is Elvis Sandbox, and also the SharePoint list name, which is employees. Then next, I would include a get file content to fetch the custom banner for the email body. So I'll click on next step. I would search for get file content. Then I will choose the one for the SharePoint, because currently I have the birthday card banner, which is right here on the document library of my SharePoint site. I can click this to show you what it looks like. You can see it right here. So back to my studio, I'll point to my SharePoint site, which is Sandbox Elvis, and I'll go over to the file path, which is stored on my shared documents, and I can select my birthday card here. So next I will add a compose action to convert the image to a data URI, which will transform the image into a format that I can embed directly into the email. So search for compose, do this here. Then I will include an expression called data URI. Then right here I can include the file contents. Good. Next, I will create a variable to store the HTML for the image. The name of the variable will be var logo, and I'll make this a string. Then for the value, so right here I will construct the HTML tag. So I would say concat. So the first here would be the image tag with an attribute of source equal to double quotes and this. Then I will include, now I can include the compose. So the content of the source would be the compose attributes. Then lastly here I would include an alternate attribute. If for any reasons the banner doesn't show up, then I would close my HTML tag right there. Then that's it. Then next I will include a filter array to check for matching birthdays. So I will search for the filter array data operation. I'll point to the values from the get items, and right here I'll point to the date of birth column, which is DOB. If we look here on my SharePoint list for the employees, you can see the date of birth column is, the name is DOB. So it's a good practice to always ensure. So most times the format for your SharePoint lists date time column might not be the same with the current day in Power Automate. So to make sure the formats are the same, I'll wrap this in a format date time function. Then I want to check for the same month and day. I close that. I said okay. Then where it equals to today's dates, I can get that by using the UTC now function. Then I'll wrap that in a format date time and also use the same format. So this expression will filter the list to only employees with birthdays today. Next I will include an apply to each action to loop through the filtered array. So here I'll point to the results from the array. Then right here I can include a send an email action. to send emails to the employees. The email will be sent to the current item coming from the apply to each. So I'll write an expression that points to the email column. Then right here I can include a subject. I'll use this as the subject of the email. Then I would like to include the full name of the employee. So I'll include a dynamic content here. I'll point to the full name column, which in my case here is the title column. Then for the body of the email, I'll use this text, and right at the bottom I would point to the variable which I created earlier. And that's it. That's all we need for the flow. So now I'll go ahead and save. It brings up this prompt. This is happening because you didn't add a filter query to your get items action, but it's just a warning, so it's something you can ignore. And I'll go ahead and test manually. Hit test here. Run flow. So the flow ran successfully, and the email should be sent to those with birthdays of today, which are Elvis Eyobor and Elvis Presley, which has birthdays of October 15th, and today is the 15th of October. So I'll go over to my mailbox, and right here I can see that Elvis Presley got the birthday wish, the birthday email, and the birthday card is also attached to the body of the email. And also for Elvis Eyobor as well, got the birthday email, and the birthday card is also attached. So that's it. That's how you can create an automation to send out emails based on the birthday of an employee, and also include a custom card or banner to the body of the email. So I hope you got something from this. Let us know if you'd like to see more content like this. I'll see you in the next one.